What's up guys, DoctorBeau here, and today I want to tackle the myth about how much doctors actually get paid. Stay tuned.
How can I help you today?
So, DoctorBeau, I am seeing that you charged me $180 for my chiropractic adjustment. Is that true? If so, you must be raking in the cash. Okay guys, let's talk about this and why that is absolutely, unfortunately, not true. Now, many times when patients receive their what they call their EOB, their explanation of benefits, you see all of the charges that the doctor has basically ticked and marked as far as things that have been done or services that have been rendered or services that are being charged on behalf of the doctor to the patient. Now, as much as I would absolutely love to say that we get 100% compensation for those things, unfortunately, that is so far from the actual truth. Now, let me back up a little bit and kind of tell you how we got to this point today. When insurance companies were introduced in the late 1960s, it was done so as an intermediate or a buffer between patient and doctor. And basically had this: patient couldn't afford certain services due to emergencies or due to the rising cost of a potential service. So an insurance company charged a person a small fee over time to make up for that, and in exchange they would pay for the big service at the time of fee. Now when they did that, they would go to the doctor and they would negotiate the price a little bit. So for instance, instead of it maybe being a $100 service, the insurance company would make a contract between them and the doctor that if they charged $100, the doctor would very happily accept $80. And to be honest, in a lot of ways, guys, in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, that worked great. And here's why. It worked great, number one, because doctors would actually get paid relative to the services that they provided. Number two, the cost of living, meaning like my building here, my staff that's behind that door out there, my time and my ability to bring in money paid for my lifestyle. You know, the average doctor that went to medical school, at least chiropractic college, in the 1980s, cost about $25,000 for their 3 years of schooling. Right now, 2021, if you graduated from chiropractic college, from just chiropractic college, you would be over $300,000 in school debt, just for professional school. Not to mention how much you had to pay to receive your bachelor's degrees at your undergrad school. A lot of doctors today are graduating with at least $500,000 of school loan debt. Now, as we progressed into the 80s and the 90s, the insurance companies changed the rules a little bit. So here's what they did. They sat back and they said, you know, we now have millions of people that are underneath our umbrella, so to speak, of insurance coverage. So we know this. We know that these doctors see all of these patients that are quote unquote our patients. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the doctor and renegotiate the rate. And what we're gonna do is we are actually going to lower the amount that the doctor gets paid for their services, because we wanna try to keep the amount of money high inside our individual companies. So what you saw over the late 80s, early 90s is that reimbursement rates start to drop. Like I said, when they came out in the 60s and 70s, there was a generalized 80-20 rule. And here's what that means. That means for whatever services your doctor would have billed, the doctor would have received 80% reimbursement and had to quote unquote write off the additional 20%. Also back then, you could use that 20% as a tax write-off against your gross salary at the end of the year. Unfortunately, guys, those times have drastically changed. Now, fast forward it to today. Now we have patients that are coming in paying deductibles that are higher than ever, and the doctors, after giving their care, their services, are now receiving what is called a capped benefit. Now, what a capped benefit is this. When the doctor signs the contract with the insurance company, they basically say, hey, look, no matter what services that I provide, no matter if I charge the patient $1 or $1,000, the most amount of money that I can receive is capped. So let me give you an example. As a chiropractor, for a Blue Cross or Blue Shield patient, we are quote unquote capped at about $50 per adjustment, per service given. In the medical field, if you go see your medical doctor, their cap fee is about $125. Now, think about that for a second. In the 1980s, if I do the exact same service in 1980 and in 2021, in 1980, I received $80. In 2021, I may receive $45 or $50. Do you guys now start to see why medicine is an upside down profession, and why doctors are frustrated as they could be, and patients are becoming frustrated as well, because the patients are coming in and saying, hey, Beau, you guys are only spending, small amounts of time with me, where I used to be able to get 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour with you guys. What's going on? Are you being a bad doctor? And the answer, honestly, guys, is no. I don't believe doctors are wanting to become bad doctors. That's not why we did this. That's not why I spent 10 years of my life in school. I did so because we want to help people. But at the same time, we need to be able to keep our lights on. We need to be able to pay our staff. We need to be able to pay back $500,000 of school loan, and we still need to be able to take home some money at the end of the day. In 1985, the average chiropractor was making about $250,000 a year. This year's survey in 2021 just was published by Chiropractic Economics, and the average chiropractor is only making $86,000 a year. Now, why would that be? It's not because we're trying to provide bad service. No, it's because, unfortunately, there's a person or a company between the patient and the doctor. Now, to make matters even worse, there's even more limits on what your doctor can do. So a lot of these companies, when you come in and see your doctor, we create a bill and we bill the insurance company. Now, the insurance companies actually have employed people that will look over our bill, compare that to the notes, compare that to the diagnosis, and those people are then making the determinant, not your doctor. Those people are making the determinant is if those services should be covered. Now, why do I tell you all that? I tell you that because when you go to your doctor, whether you're a chiropractor or a medical doctor, and you look down at the charges sheet and you see all these different charges, the reason the doctor is doing that is they're quote unquote hedging their bets. That someone that is reviewing your case, that someone that is reviewing your treatment plan is going to deny some of the charges. Now, do you remember how I told you guys there was a cap, meaning this, that we could charge as much as we wanted to, but we would only get a capped fee. So for instance, if I charged $100 of services, yet of those $100, there was 5 different services, and when the reviewer was reviewing my notes, he said or she said, oh, Beau, those 3 services were unnecessary. Now I'm only going to reimburse you for these 2 services. Well, if these 2 services don't meet the $50 cap, whatever the 2 service charges are, that's what the doctor gets reimbursed at the end of the day. So guys, why do I tell you all that? I tell you all that for a couple of reasons. Number one, medicine is no longer a quote unquote golden ticket to financial success for the doctor. You can make just as much money right now, today in 2021, as a general manager of a McDonald's as you can by being a chiropractor or a general practitioner, a general medical doctor, the exact same amounts of money. The manager at McDonald's doesn't spend 10 years in school. The manager at McDonald's doesn't have $500,000 of school debt. The manager at McDonald's doesn't have to worry about paying for his overhead, paying for the building, paying for his rent, paying his malpractice insurance, paying to have things like, supplements or things like cups or burgers at his office. No, those are the owner's job. The manager shows up, works 9 to 5 and leaves, or works whatever hours they are. Yet a doctor has all of those things that they're worrying about. Now, why do I tell you guys all of this? Am I here just to kind of moan and complain? Absolutely not. I absolutely love what I do as a profession. Matter of fact, it's one of the reasons that I'm still doing it, because so many people have come to me and said, Beau, you're absolutely crazy for staying in practice. But I'm also telling you this because this is why we are seeing a major decline in the amount of doctors that are entering the workforce. I don't know about you guys in the practice or in the town that I practice here on the Central Coast. My older doctors are retiring at rates I've never seen before, and we're not seeing the younger generation step in and step up. I've been in practice now for 12 years. I graduated in 2009, and I'm not seeing the next generation step forward. Now, how do we solve this? Or better yet, what should you guys as patients do? So the first thing is this, is if you're searching for a doctor, if you're searching to get into an office, if you have an insurance policy with an extremely high deductible, what I would suggest that you do is call the doctor and ask them what their cash fee is. A cash fee is a allowed and regulated fee for service at time of service. Here's what it means. It means that, hey, look, if you want to come into my practice and receive a service, I can charge you a fee that I determine, not determined by an insurance company or Medicare, a fee that I believe is fair, and you can pay for that fee at time of service. Now, what you'll typically notice, and I'm going to say this across all of the medical profession, is that the cash fee is usually roughly 30 to 40% less than what a doctor's fee is going to be if we charge out to insurance companies. The reason being, just like we talked about with the 5 charges and 3 deductions, but also when we also are billing those, we are paying staff members to handle those bills. Unknown to a lot of patients is that when we bill an insurance company for a service rendered, most insurance companies have up to 90 days, that's right, 3 months before they have to pay the practitioner for their service rendered. And also, if in any of these notes there is an error or a diagnosis code that is wrong or a charge that was inadvertently inputted, the insurance company can deny the claim, kick it back to the practitioner, the doctor's team, staff, billing, makes the changes, sends it back to the insurance company, and we could wait an additional 90 days. So imagine this. Imagine going to work and performing a service, but knowing, hey, look, I'm not going to be able to be reimbursed for that service for up to 6 months. Would that not be crazy? Guys, that's what we do every single day as doctors. We are literally projecting and forecasting. We may not receive $1 for the care that we're rendering today for 3 to 6 months. Insane, right? I also agree. So call your doctor's office. Tell them, hey, look, I have insurance. However, I'm curious to know, what is your cash fee for service cost for this condition or for this service? You'd be amazed. Let me give you a quick example. About 1.5 years ago, my daughter broke her arm. She fell, broke her arm, and I went to our orthopedic surgeon, had her evaluated. She was put into x-rays. She had a cast. She was in the cast for 5 weeks. Went back, had to have another cast put on for an additional 2 weeks. The total cost, and I paid that doctor fee for service, full price fee for service, was $1,000. I asked the doctor, I said, hey, doctor, how much would this have cost if we would have billed insurance? And what did he tell me? Around $4,500. The same thing goes, guys, when you go to the emergency room. Ask them, how much is a fee-for-service cash visit today? And then you'll get generally a response. As doctors, I'll be honest with you, I love cash patients. And the reason is number one, I get paid. And number two, when I'm creating my notes, I don't have to follow a very specific template that is going to get the check mark of approval by the insurance company. I can usually do services, provide services, and do things that are above and beyond my normal insurance patient because I'm not limited to the services that I can render. So guys, if you're debating between the two, always ask the doctor, hey, what is your fee for service for this? Do you have a membership deal? Do you have a plan that I can get on? What are some different things that I can do to help benefit you, yet still reduce my overall costs for services in this office? So guys, I hope that gives you guys a little bit better of a perspective. When you get that bill in the mail and you're going through it and you're like, oh my gosh, this doctor charged me $450 for a 5-minute exam. Why is it so expensive? Now I hope you guys understand, and I hope you can have some appreciation for the things that we do here in our office. I'll conclude this short video by telling you this. I believe that most doctors got into medicine, got into chiropractic, got into healthcare because they love people. They love patients, they love being able to problem solve, they love being able to become healers for yourself, for your environment, to step in the gap when you don't know what to do next, and to be able to give a solution, to give an answer to a problem. And we as practitioners, we don't want to charge you $1 million for every service. Absolutely not. We want to provide the best possible care that we can, but at the same time, be able to provide for our own families. So I just want to say thank you guys. If you have questions about how billing and all of this stuff works, or, you know, why we see things or perspective, please ask me down in the comments below. I always respond to the comments. If you guys have been looking at my past videos, you guys will know that. But understand this, we do this for you guys. We do it because we love it. We show up, like right now, it is 7 a.m. I've literally been doing notes for the last hour and a half in the morning. That's right. I got here at a little after 6 a.m. to do my patient notes because I have a full day of care today for patients. We don't do it for the money anymore. Man, I really wish we were making millions and millions of dollars every year. We do it because we love you guys. All right, have a great day. I'll talk to you later.